Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday, and it's life coaching time. Every Tuesday I take 3 questions that you put down and or write in the comment section, and do the best I can to answer them in a life coaching manner. And sometimes it's really difficult because with life coaching, you have to understand who the person is, and I have to understand who you are and what the dynamics are of your life to be able to find out what the best course is and what the objective is. Because life coaching, it's not psychiatry, and it's not counseling, and it's not advice. Psychiatry heals the past. Advice corrects the present. Life coaching creates the future. So what we're trying to do with life coaching is just that, to coach your life in a way that you want it to go. Now, it's not just me giving you advice or telling you what to do, because you are the best expert on what it is you want to do with your life. You have it inside of you, what your passions are and what your skills are. And it's up to me to try to help find that and to accentuate what's already there, to bring out what's already inside. And sometimes we minimalize certain things. I just had a life coaching session where someone was talking about hitting a certain age and not knowing what to do with their life and wanting to find something new that they can do occupationally. And so we went through all the different things in their life that they really enjoyed doing without any kind of financial benefit, just as a hobby, just for their own enjoyment. And as we start to dig into that, we found a real unique skill that this person has that they never really saw as something that could be used for commerce or as an occupation or as a business model. So that's what we did. We figured that out. But see, that's not something I put in there. I just saw it and just elevated it to the surface. And that's what I do, is try to find out what's inside of you, knowing that you are the expert on your own life. Now, it's hard for me to answer a lot of these questions because they're sort of cut and dry, and I don't know who the people are that are involved. So sometimes I have to do some imaginary scenarios. So I'll do the best that I can, and but I do think that this will touch somebody's heart and minister to somebody. And if you want to be a part of the life coaching family, I'd love to work with you. I'd love to talk to you. We have 3 different levels. We have a bronze, a silver, and a gold. Real simple. Bronze is 30 minutes. The silver is an hour, and the gold is, I have it as 3 30-minute segments, but almost everybody, once we start get going and we start talking and we have a really good time, almost everybody wants to do the 30 minutes back to back, like 90 minutes right in a row. So that's cool too. Whatever it takes to get the job done. And the thing about it is we start talking and we start having fun, we're laughing, and we're coming up with different ideas, and so much progress is being made that they don't want to kind of break it. So that's okay too. So whatever it is, however you want to put all that together, we could do 30, 60, or 90 minutes. And I'm enjoying it as much as you are. So I'm going to take a few questions. Let's see how I can do, and maybe I'll help somebody a little bit. Maybe. This is from Pam. Pam says, she asked a question, she says, I was divorced when my sons were 3, 5, and 7. I tried hard to raise them right, God-fearing and loving, putting the Lord first. They are all now in their 40s, and behave a lot like their dad. Well, it's kind of like, you know that's going to happen. They're going to be like somebody. But here's the problem. She said, living in the world, partaking of its sins. I pray hard for them and their children. I tried to be a good example and lived for the Lord. What else can I do? I love them all very much and pray that none of them go to hell. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, I can see that. And I am at my wit's end, and I would appreciate your help. Well, this is going to be a little hard because I don't know, I don't know why there was a divorce. I don't know if what was happening in the home. I don't know what's important to you now. I don't know anything about their personalities. And in order to help channel I wouldn't even know what the goal is on this. But here's where I would start with you. I would want to say, what is it that you want to prove to yourself? You're going to have to answer that, because somewhere along the way, this is kind of about how you feel about things, because these are grown people. They're in their 40s. They are who they are. I mean, they've been gone for a long time to live their own lives. They're responsible for all their own decisions. And they really shouldn't be at your wit's end. They should be at God's wit's end. He's the one that has to lure them in. Now, he is the one who has to do that supernatural, life-changing work. Not you. This is not your frustration. Whatever happened when they were 3, 5, and 7, I'm sure it's not what you wanted to happen, and it wasn't your desire, or to be divorced, especially with a 3-year-old, a 5, and a 7-year-old. I don't think there's a woman out there who wants to be divorced and left with 3 little kids to raise. So I'm sure that there's stuff that happened that wasn't your plan, and this scenario has sort of imposed itself on you, but you've taken on responsibilities that you can't solve. You can't rectify this. You can't change this. These are grown people. You have to let this go. And by holding on to it, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? What are you trying? You're trying to prove something to yourself with this, and I'm not sure what it is. I understand what it's like to look back and wish it happened another way, and wish you would have made these decisions and not those decisions. Life doesn't work out that way. In all of our lives, we all have a series of really good decisions and really bad ones. But that's part of the life experience. And it's not so much trying to go back and fix it, because anything short of going back to when they were 3, 5, and 7, you can't do. You can't change that. They are who they are now. And I would want you to refocus your attention on something that could really be constructive for you, because it seems like you still have a passion for these kids. And to you, they're always going to be 3, 5, and 7. I understand that. But your love and your caring and your commitment to them has not changed. You still care about every little thing they do. That means that you're a caring person. And I would want to see you, if I could talk to you, if we could work through this together, I want to see you take that love, that caring, that concern for how somebody grows up, and maybe refocus it into something that you can change, into some lives that you can affect, into some children that are there and are desperate for somebody to talk to, and somebody to guide them, and somebody to lead them. And I think there might be a work for you that you can channel all this passion and this concern into something that can be more productive for you, because these kids are grown. They're gone. They're living how they're going to live, and whatever happens between them and the Lord, that is their business. You're not the Holy Spirit. You're not Jesus. You're not God. It's not your responsibility. You've done what you knew how to do and the best that you could at the time. You even said it. Knowing that, you might know more now. We all know more now. We all know more now than we did back then. And if we could go back, we'd change it, but it doesn't work out that way. So with the new things you've learned in life, and with the new perspectives you've had, and the things you've learned by trial and error, I think that there's some people that can really benefit from that really do want to hear what you have to say and will love to have your input into their lives. And if I could talk to you, we would figure something out. I got a feeling we would, because your passion is still there and your caring is still there. We just want to focus it on something that is productive for you, because this is not productive. It's just driving you crazy because you can't do anything about it. I want to focus that into something you can do something about. If I was your life coach, that's what I would be doing. This is from Yvonne, and she says, how do you restart your personal life after divorce? This is, everybody seems like they're going through this. Hold on. I kind of get dry, so I have a little, that's a long story. Anyway, how do you restart your personal life after divorce? It's been over 8 years, just afraid to trust again. We were married for 18 years. And I'm scared. And I'm kind of scared that I'm making too much noise with this. All right. Well, I would want to know, what are you trying to restart? Are you trying to restart a marriage so that you can get your life back on track again? You want to get married again? And to you, that's restarting? Or are you trying to restart a career maybe you missed out on? Or are you trying to get back together with your ex and that's what you consider restarting? I would want to get inside your head a little bit and find out, what do you consider restarting? Because it's not what anybody else thinks. It's really what you think. And whatever you consider to be a new start, that's the only thing that's important, because you're the one that has to live with this moving forward. And times change and people change, and it's just rare when two people meet at the same emotional and same level of maturity where they hit at the right time and then they just grow together. Usually what happens is you meet people and you're on the growth spurt over here, and they're growing this way. You sort of meet at a certain time and it seems good, but then you continue to grow and you seem like you grow apart and you become different people. And it could be just because you may have met the right person but met them too early. That could happen. That probably happens more often than we want to admit. Because you think, well, maybe if I would have just met this person a couple years later, it would have been great. But I met him at the absolute wrong time. I didn't want to lose him, and I went through all that stuff with them, and now it's never going to come back together. Da, 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 da. Here's a question I would ask you. What mistake in your past are you afraid that you might make again? Because when we get short-circuited, it's because we don't want to have something go wrong again. So we get gun shy. And I would want to know, what is it that you felt like went wrong? What mistake happened that you feel like if you move forward, you might make again? And I'd want to talk through that. I want to see what's in your heart. Because obviously, you sound like somebody who wants to love again and wants to be in a relationship, wants to be married, because not being married to this particular person or whoever seems like it has short-circuited what makes you tick. And we'd want to get that thing back on track again. So when you talk about restarting, I'd want to get inside of your head and your heart and find out, restarting means what to you? What is it that you're trying to kick back in again? That will give you a direction. And that direction will have a goal at the end of it. So I'd have to talk to you about what your goal is. Because everybody needs a goal, a vision. Without vision, people perish. Even the Bible says that. If you don't know where you're going, you're probably going the wrong way. If you're just going from one place to another, you're on hold until you get some sort of a direction. So that would be my conversation with you. That would probably be one of those 90-minute conversations, at least. Got one more. Pam. She says, I have a question. I prayed for you when you were going through the chemo treatment. My son was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma T-cell. Is there any advice you could give him? He's a young man who is overwhelmed. I would ask him this. I'd want to talk to him because I'd have to hear his voice. I'd have to hear what anguishes him. I'd have to either hear the little bit of hope or the desperation to kind of know where to go in the conversation. And I'd probably maybe ask him something like this. I would ask him, say, and I wrote this down. I says, if one day the obstacle that is in your life, this non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, if you found out that this was gone and it was no longer there, what would you want to do? What would be your goal? What would you immediately get up out of bed? It's gone. The next week you're doing something. What is it? Because whatever that is what's in your heart to do. And just because you're going through this doesn't mean you can't be heading in that direction even now. Because a good part of getting through this, and I had what they called incurable multiple myeloma cancer. And when they told me it was incurable, all the doctors said it was incurable. Only one doctor thought it was curable, but he hadn't found the cure yet. So everybody thought it was incurable. So it was just like, it was a death sentence. And I had to figure out what was my life going to be like going through this? And what did I want to be doing when the end came? Would I want to be doing anything different? There's a goal inside of you. This whoever this young man is, there's something inside of you that needs to regroup and get back on that horse, heading in that direction. Now, for example, let's say he wanted to be in sports. Okay, he's got a physical disadvantage now. But that doesn't mean he can't focus on sports in some other capacity until this thing is conquered. Because he's got to be heading in that direction. And that's why I would want to know, if this was gone, what would you be doing? Where would you be going? If it was gone from your life right now, where would you want to be aiming the arrow of your life? And that's what I would want to focus in on with him. And I just would need to talk to him. Because, you know, when a cancer patient talks to another cancer patient, you just hear things in their voice. Or when you're talking to somebody that, you know, has something fatal in front of them and it's threatening their life, and to take it all away, there's a certain something in their voice. It's an exasperated feeling. It's a frustrated feeling, but you don't want to turn it into a hopeless feeling, because you got to figure out, how am I going to make the best of this? Now, I'll tell you one thing that I did, and this is going to seem silly, but for me, you know, life coaching, I always believe, is finding out what's best for you from within you. You are the best expert on your own life. I knew I was going to have to be in bed for, 8 months or whatever. 8 months plus, almost 9. The first thing I did when I went, I had to go out to UAMS, Little Rock, Arkansas. Had to get an apartment because he had to live there. And you have to go back and forth to the hospital a couple times every day. And sometimes you stay there, but you have to be there. You can't just be flying in and out. So it's a daily treatment thing. So I knew I was going to be in that bed a long time. And you know, when you're just sitting there, you got nothing to do. What does anybody like? Do you like to watch TV? So I went down to Best Buy, and I got the biggest flat screen TV I could afford, or that would fit on a dresser. I took the dresser and I pulled it over to the edge of the bed and turned it around so the drawers were facing out. And I put the flat screen on top of it. So right at the end of my feet, there was a flat screen TV, you know, high def. And because I knew I was going to be watching a lot of TV, I figured, well, if I'm going to be watching a lot of TV, I might as well enjoy it. So I was kind of preparing myself for what's the best case scenario, being laying here and being kind of immobile. And to me, that's what meant the most, because, you know, I'm a big film fan and I love to watch sports, and I would enjoy that. And you got to find out what will consume you, and how's the best way you can get through this. Because a lot of the things that I would like to watch are things that have to do with where I'm going. I'd love to listen to musicians and watch people perform, because in my mind I wanted to perform again. And that was where my heart was and my passion was. You got to find out what that is for you. Find out what you'd want to be doing, or if you can't do it, what you'd want to be looking at somebody else doing. You know, and you got to kind of start to visualize that, because it diminishes your current circumstances. And as it diminishes your circumstances and you focusing in on those circumstances, your body has more strength to fight this thing off. And stress, anxiety can take strength away from your body and give you and render you immobile and unable to fight this disease, because you're going to need all your strength. So it's going to start up here. And Pam, I hope I can get a chance to talk to this young man, because I think we could relate to each other a lot, and I think I could help him. I know I can at least make him laugh a couple times. I got some stories. I got some stories from hospital stories he would appreciate. But that's my 3 questions, and this is our 4th one, 4th Tuesday night. So next Tuesday night, be watching. And if you have any questions, just write them in the comments section below, and I'll try to get to them and deal with them as best I can. If you want to become a client, you can just go to carmanlifecoaching.com. There should be a link at the bottom of this, and we'll schedule you. And I would love to talk to you, and we'll work through this thing together, and it'll be enjoyable, and we'll have a good time. All right? God bless you.